Well, let's now move on to some other stories. Iranian President Rouhani on Monday has said that the United States will pay a high cost if President Trump scraps the US-Iran nuclear deal. Now, President Rouhani said, and I quote, "Exiting such an agreement would carry a high cost for the United States of America, and I do not believe the Americans would be willing to pay such a huge cost for something that will be useless to them," unquote. Now, President Rouhani also added that such a move by President Trump will yield no results for the United States, but at the same time it will decrease the international trust which is placed in them for having first gotten to an agreement and then to flout it. The President Rouhani's statements comes just a day after the US pressurized Iran at the 61st International Atomic Energy Conference, or the IAEA, in Vienna. Now, earlier on Monday, the US representative had threatened Iran that they will walk away from the 2015 nuclear deal if they feel that the UN's atomic agency is not tough to monitor it. Now, the director of the IAEA, Yukiya Amano, responded to the statement made by the United States and said that Iran did not break any promises and was not getting any special treatment under the agreement.
States supports these efforts and strongly encourages the IAEA to exercise its full authorities to verify Iran's adherence to each and every nuclear-related commitment under the JCPOA. We will not accept a weakly enforced or inadequately monitored deal.
And earlier last month, the U.S. ambassador to the United States, Nikki Haley, had traveled to Vienna to convince the head of the IAEA to inspect the Iranian military sites to verify that Tehran was indeed complying with the 2015 nuclear deal and was not using the nuclear material that it had in its disposal for any nuclear weapons. Meanwhile, a furious Iran has in fact launched a scathing attack on the United States, saying that its hostile activities will only result in impeding the progress of the deal.
The American administration's overtly hostile attitude and actual foot-dragging policies and measures aimed at undermining the nuclear deal and blocking Iran's legitimate benefits from its full and unimpeded implementation.
Well, President Trump is under enormous pressure from the Congress, and the Senate has only asked for a report from the Trump administration within a span of 90 days on Iran's compliance with the nuclear deal of 2015. Meanwhile, President Donald Trump and the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu have met in New York on the sidelines of the United Nations Security Council summit. Now, both the leaders have agreed for a peaceful settlement to the Middle East crisis and have hoped for bettering cooperation between the two countries. Now, both leaders are also expected to use their addresses in the United Nations General Assembly to highlight the threat to Middle East stability and the security represented by Tehran.
Very hard on it. We'll see what happens. Historically, people say it can't happen. I say it can happen.
The alliance between America and Israel has never been stronger, never been deeper. I can say this in ways that people see and in ways that they don't see.